This week on Channel 8 News, we'll be looking at Trump's final midterm campaign Blitz, Northwest winning streak in volleyball and football, and more. Your Channel 8 News starts right now.
Thanks for tuning in to Channel 8 News, the show where we provide news coverage on the Northwest Missouri State University campus and in the Maryville community. I'm Katie Byrd.
And I'm Alexis Kuhnert. Before we get into this week's stories, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notifications button for all the latest news and updates.
With just a few days left to go until the midterm election, more than 34 million Americans have already cast their ballots.
Many key races are showing no clear winner, and the outcome will determine the control of Congress. As CNN's Omar Jimenez reports, the economy is the #1 issue for voters.
With 4 days until the votes are counted, the latest jobs report taking center stage in an election where the economy is issue #1.
Folks, our economy continues to grow and add jobs, even as gas prices continue to come down. But we got a lot more to do.
Even as the U.S. economy adds 261,000 jobs for the month of October and unemployment remains historically low, voters across the country are expressing concern about rising prices.
People are scrambling to, buy gasoline so that they could go to work or figure out what they're going to have for dinner because the cost of food is so expensive.
Heading into the final weekend before Election Day, the battle for control of the Senate is on a knife's edge.
Folks are feeling everything from pain at the pump to the cost of prescription drugs and everything in between. And in the greatest country in the world.
In battleground Wisconsin, dueling bus tours as the candidates for Senate hope to drive voters to the polls.
Thank you.
Republican Senator Ron Johnson refusing to commit to accepting the results of next week's election.
I sure hope I can, but I can't predict what the Democrats might have planned.
What is your response to that?
He's shown us exactly who he is.
Johnson's Democratic opponent, Mandela Barnes, says the Republican senator's comments were to be expected.
It's the height of arrogance, but that's who he's always been. That's who he'll continue to be. They tried to overturn a free and fair election by sending fraudulent electors to the vice president. They weren't successful in 2021, and we won't let them be successful this year.
Johnson has claimed he had no knowledge of any fraudulent elector plot. Across the country, candidates from both parties bringing in high-profile surrogates for the final stretch. President Biden campaigning tonight in Illinois ahead of a visit Saturday to Pennsylvania, where he and former President Obama will rally for Democrats, including Senate nominee John Fetterman. Former President Donald Trump will also be in Pennsylvania, stumping for Republican Senate nominee Mehmet Oz. And while Oprah Winfrey helped turn Oz into a television star, she's hoping to halt his political rise, throwing her support behind Fetterman.
If I lived in Pennsylvania, I would have already cast my vote for John Fetterman for many reasons.
She's an icon. It's unbelievable. It's an honor, and I'm so grateful.
On Sunday, Biden will be on the trail in New York for Governor Kathy Hochul, while Trump heads to Florida for a rally with Senator Marco Rubio, but not Republican Governor Ron DeSantis. DeSantis releasing a new video today suggesting God created the Republican leader to be a fighter for Florida.
So God made a fighter.
Again, that was Omar Jimenez, reports with CNN. In remarks last Friday, President Biden says he remains optimistic about next week's midterm elections. Biden predicted Democrats would continue to hold both the House and the Senate, despite polls showing Republican momentum building heading into the vote.
In related news, former President Trump kicked off a final round of midterm campaign rallies on Thursday.
That included an event in Iowa to shore up support for Republican candidates. But as CNN's Jeff Zeleny reports, Trump also is thinking about his own political future, and Iowa is fitting a backdrop.
To say Donald Trump is coming back to the campaign trail would suggest he's ever gone away.
Make America great again.
But starting tonight, he's back in a new way. 4 rallies in 5 days, in a sprint to Election Day.
Hello, Iowa.
Iowa is hardly the hottest spot on the map of 2022 battlegrounds, but the state has something even more enticing. It hopes to ring the opening bell of the next Republican presidential race. As Republicans ride a wave of optimism in the final days of the midterm elections, the 2024 campaign is about to burst from the shadows, and the former president is eager to solidify his role as the party's top leader, inching ever closer to announcing another bid for the White House.
In order to make our country successful, safe, and glorious again,
I will probably have to do it again.
The question is whether potential rivals would join him or step aside. A parade of Republicans with presidential ambitions have already visited Iowa this year, including former Vice President Mike Pence, former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, Senators Tim Scott of South Carolina, Rick Scott of Florida, Tom Cotton of Arkansas, Ted Cruz of Texas, and outgoing Maryland Governor Larry Hogan.
Aren't you glad you live in the free state of Florida?
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is eyeing an Iowa trip of his own after his re-election campaign is complete, CNN has learned, further fueling an intensifying duel with the former president. While his loyal base of supporters is already lining up behind him, a Trump candidacy would test the full party's appetite for reliving the 2020 campaign and litigating a string of his legal challenges. Susan Stewart is an Iowa Republican who voted for Trump.
There are Republicans who never supported him in the first place. There are others who have mixed feelings about him. But by and large, I would say there's more diehard Trump supporters in any of those other categories.
Conversations with Republicans in other states reveal a measure of hesitation.
I am perplexed because I was a Trump supporter and I don't know where I stand now.
I feel like we got betrayed, and especially when you attack the White, you don't attack the Capitol, that's for sure.
So you wouldn't want to see him run again?
Oh, definitely not.
But many Trump loyalists do, and the former president has repeatedly signaled he's poised to launch a new campaign built around false questions about the last one.
May just have to do it again. Stay tuned, everybody. Stay tuned.
Again, that was Jeff Zeleny with CNN. Former White House counselor Kellyanne Conway said Trump is likely to announce he's running for president very soon. She says some former president's advisors have urged him to deliver a, quote, November surprise.
And in other news, Elon Musk's plan to sell the blue verification checkmark on Twitter was officially launched last Saturday. The announcement implied that anyone could get a blue checkmark for $7.99 a month, just like celebrities.
Musk is also promising half the ads and much better ones. Twitter also promised that users will also be able to post longer videos. Critics say the new verification feature could have some unintended consequences.
Color of Change CEO Rashad Robinson worries that right-wing trolls can pay the $8. Then he fears they could change their handle to CNN or Georgia's Secretary of State and create chaos. In response, Twitter says the new feature is not live yet and they are busy making updates in real time.
When we return, we'll be kicking it over to Bearcat Update with Skyler Stamps. Don't go away.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. I'm Katie Byrd.
And I'm Alexis Kuhnert. Before we continue the news, we're going to kick it over to Bearcat Update with Skyler Stamps.
Thanks, ladies. Welcome back to Bearcat Update. I'm your host, Skyler Stamps. It was a pivotal week for many Bearcat sports. The football team looking to keep their postseason hopes alive, the soccer team prowling through the MIAA tournament, and the volleyball team seeking a regular season conference title. I was inside Bearcat Arena on Wednesday to catch the Bearcat volleyball team in action. Northwest Missouri State Volleyball joined the MIAA Conference in 1982. 2022 marks the 40th anniversary since joining the conference. In those 40 years, the Bearcats have never won a regular season MIAA title. For the first time in history, the Bearcats would have their chance. The Bearcats were inside Bearcat Arena on Wednesday night as they took on the Broncos from Central Oklahoma. Earlier this season, the Bearcats were swept by the Broncos at Edmond. Coming off a 3-1 victory over 8th-ranked Nebraska Kearney, the confidence for the Bearcats was at an all-time high. Set 1 started off strong as Alyssa Rezach sets up Peyton Kirchhoffer for the kill. The Broncos' Sydney Huck tries to smash it down, but Jaden Ferguson rejects it straight back. The Bearcats took set 1, 25-22. Set 2 gets started with Alyssa Rezoch catching the Broncos off guard in the back corner. Rezoch sets the ball to Ferguson for the final point in the second set as the Bearcats win 25-18. Peyton Kirchhoffer starts set 3 off with the quick kill. Rezoch would total 36 assists on the night, including this one to Abby Brunson. Jaden Ferguson would record the last kill of the night as the Northwest Missouri State Bearcats are the 2022 MIAA regular season champions. Dreams have become reality for the Bearcats and head coach Amy Worth. I talked with Jaden Ferguson after the game on how the Bearcats got this achievement of conference champions.
We've really focused on 3 goals: winning regular season, winning our conference title in the tournament, and making it to regionals and winning a game there. And this is just one checklist, and this is the first time we've done it, so it feels really good.
As Ferguson said, the Bearcats aren't done yet. They'll head to the MIAA tournament later this week in St. Joe. Congratulations and good luck to the Bearcat volleyball team and Coach Amy Worth as they head to St. Joe this week for the MIAA tournament. Northwest football played their last regular season home game this week as they took on Missouri Southern. Our reporter Jack Dunning has the story.
Last weekend, our Northwest Missouri State Bearcats beat the Missouri Southern Lions 27-5. This improves the Bearcats' record to 8-2 on the season. While the offense played pretty well, the defense really won them this game. They only allowed 3 points with a bend but don't break scheme, and the 2 stars from this game were linebacker Isaac Volstead and safety Shane Fredrickson. Both of them had 8 tackles, including 1 tackle for loss apiece. We'll start with looking at Isaac Volstead. He's usually the Mike linebacker in our defense, meaning he defends the middle of the field. Off the snap of the ball, his eyes go to the quarterback, seeing if it's a run or pass. He sees it's a run, pursuing the running back well and making the tackle. On this next play, Volstead is the Mike again. He reads run upon seeing the pulling guard, and he cuts off the running back's path, making the tackle for loss. Flipping over to look at Shane Fredrickson, he is a high safety on this play. He sees his teammate losing the rep to the receiver and makes a big hit on the receiver as he catches the ball, trying to knock the ball free. On this last play, we're going to look over Frederick's impact on the run game. He's a high safety once again, and he sees the run and comes flying in to tackle the running back before he can get too far. Next week, the Bearcats travel to take on Emporia State with playoff implications on the line, so make sure to wish them luck. With Bearcat Update, this has been Jack Dunning.
Bearcats will close out the regular season this Saturday at Emporia State. That's all the time we have here for Bearcat Update. Be sure to tune in next week to stay connected to all things Bearcat sports. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Skyler. After the break, we'll be looking at a percussion ensemble concert held here at Northwest and more. Don't go away.
Kirsten, what are you doing here?
What do you think I'm doing here? Making TikToks? And it's not about what I do. It's about what we do here. So we start with storyboarding the content we want to create for our clients. It could be anyone from small businesses, nonprofits, and organizations both on campus and in the Maryville community. We write, we film, we edit, we create, and then we wait. So if you're someone who thinks you need us, we are KNWT Creative Services.
Hey everybody, we have another episode of cool news, great packs, and an awesome game, all here on Nerd Central.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. I'm Katie Byrd.
And I'm Alexis Kuhnert. For all our music-loving Bearcats out there, a unique percussion ensemble concert was held here at Northwest last week. Let's check it out.
On the evening of Thursday, November 3rd, a percussion ensemble concert was held in the Olive Duluth Fine Arts Building. This concert showcased traditional samba batucada and samba reggae. I spoke with a couple of Northwest students to learn more about the performance and the hard work that went into preparing for the concert.
I'm Stephen Owings. I'm a senior vocal music education major here at Northwest. I was told there was going to be different lighting effects, and I'm really curious to see how that will play in with all the music and stuff. You'll definitely hear music that you may have never experienced before. It's a lot different than like just what you would turn on the radio, but it's really mind-opening and really gets you to think, and it's just definitely a cool experience. And there are a lot of really talented musicians here at Northwest, so coming to support them means a lot to us.
My name's Isaac Gillespie. I'm a vocal music education major. A lot of my friends are actually in the concert, and I also have heard them practicing, and I'm really excited for this performance. I mean, all of our ensembles on campus are really good, whether it's percussion ensemble, vocal ensembles, any kind of instrumental ensemble, but this ensemble in particular is just fantastic. Dr. Pickering is a really good musician and really knows a lot. There's a lot of different members, and they all have different pieces. Not all of them are in the same piece, some things like that. So yeah, they put a lot of work into it, and I know a lot of the percussion folks are really talented. Percussion's changing a lot as it is as a music form, and I think it's a really cool idea, and Dr. Pickering really embraces that.
This concert showcased talented Northwest musicians while introducing many attendees to different types of percussion instruments. When the concert ended, the crowd cheered in a standing ovation to congratulate the musicians. Until next time, I'm Katie Byrd with Channel 8 News.
And in other news, a new edition of the LEGO Star Wars video game is out now. CNN's Rick Damigella reports.
The galaxy far, far away gets bricker, or rather bigger, in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga Galactic Edition.
Most impressive.
The game collects the LEGO recreations of the 9 movies in the Skywalker Saga into a single experience, along with 13 playable character packs for even more LEGO minifigures to play as. As various streaming series continue to expand the Star Wars galaxy, so does the game, with expansion packs planned for release later in November, bringing characters from Star Wars Rebels, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, and the Book of Boba Fett to the game. LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga Galactic Edition is available now for current and next-gen game systems as well as PC.
Goodness gracious me.
This is not the pod you're looking for.
Leveling Up in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Also, if you're a fan of all things video and rarely tech related, be sure to check new episodes of Gen 2 every week right here on our YouTube page at KNWT TV. Well, that is all the time we have here at Channel 8 News. But before we go, be sure to click on the links below to rewatch certain sections of our show over all the events here at Northwest we've mentioned in this episode.
We also want to hear from you guys, so leave a comment below on these stories. And be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button for all the latest news and updates, as well as our other content right here on our YouTube page at KNWT TV. For the stories that matter to you, I'm Katie Byrd.
I'm Alexis Kuhnert.
And have a great night.